When we last left our heroes before this downtime session began, Mako had just received a very loud notice from a Harengon official announcing the fact that her engagement and wedding cannot be pushed back any further, and that she and Merlin would be wed in the winter.
Very
Now,
inauspicious.
yes, and then he left. Mako was also given a letter in addition to this. If Mako wishes to share or not, that's up to Mako. But I believe y'all were turning to look at Mako when we last left.
No. Mako reacting to, I assume, the quizzical looks is
Kitasha is giving a very schooled, patient look. The kind that a parental figure might give, or like an older sibling might give to someone younger.
I had hoped to avoid this for a little longer.
You mean the wedding or the conversation about the wedding?
Technically both.
Fair enough.
As a refresher, did the announcer give the name?
Yeah, the name is Nagao Merlin Hitsumitsu Tokugawa, heir of House Taka, heir to Daimyo Harrier Aritomo Tokugawa.
Sir, you wrote this.
I wrote this 6 months ago.
That sounds like a personal problem. I understand this is going to be a stretch. Is there any way Kitasha would know of
It's
this person?
entirely possible, actually. I think a mediocre history check might do that.
All right, Kitasha, give us a mediocre history check then.
Oh, I'm so good at this. -1. Here we go.
Hands across the board.
And then David will explain why.
It was almost an 18 on the die, but that's a 4 - 1 for 3.
I think
Kitasha never got out of the
even with
neighborhood.
that, Tokugawa, the name Tokugawa sounds familiar. You don't know why, but it definitely is familiar.
Okay. Tokugawa, is that the... Did they have the really weird facial hair?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if they're Harengon, technically they all do have facial hair.
Yeah, I fail to see what would make theirs more weird than others.
Maybe it was like a wax or a pomade or something. I could also be remembering someone else.
The Tokugawas are the closest thing to Harengon royalty, effectively. We don't have a feudal structure, but Tokugawas are a long family line of military officers and philanthropists, and there's they're very famous.
So this would be a good match for you. This would be beneficial.
Certainly on paper it would be. Certainly for my family, this is a beneficial match.
So for your family, but not for you?
I don't think this hallway is the best spot to be discussing this.
Let's move to a random
Kitasha
alleyway.
straightens up and looks over both y'all's heads because Katasha, I think, is taller than both of you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anyone in this hallway?
Uh,
Or would it be more conceivable that Mako is just getting really defensive about being vulnerable for once?
so I will say the fact is you are not in a secluded area whatsoever. You literally are just right outside Talos's office. In the middle of
Who
the
comes
guild.
here? Who comes here except for us?
Oh no one else ever comes here. Not any of the, tens of hundreds of other guild members in the city.
Yeah, no.
Totally
Perfectly
was
safe.
not a crowd that appeared after a very loud Harangon decided to announce like a trumpet in front of everyone about Mako's marriage.
All right, team. Let's head into the city. Let's find a booth that's cozy and a drink that's spicy, and we will talk this over. If you'd like to talk it over, Mako, unless you don't want to talk it over, in which case I'll leave you alone.
No, given that this may affect my membership, it probably is. You guys deserve to know.
That's a very good point. All right, to the drinking hole. Somewhere in the city, there will be somewhere that sells good beer.
All right, someone give me who's wanting to like. Is there anyone who wants to give out like, oh, I know a place?
Sure.
Roll an investigation.
Yeah, we'll have the person who has it actually trained to do it.
Oh yeah. Well, that's an 11.
Okay, an 11. Let me just load this up really quick, and I will give you a handful of. They're all right. Taverns. We have the Last Bunny Tavern.
That seems
How
ominous.
How apt.
The Narrow Grape Bar.
Okay.
And there is also the Nostalgic Horse Bar.
All right, Mako, I'm gonna be real.
Is that just like a rundown carousel? Is that all that is? Just
Don't look up.
At least in this district, our options are not great based on my memory, but there are a couple that would suffice. Would you feel uncomfortable at a place called the Last Bunny?
You know what? It sounds funny. Let's go for it.
All right, let's do it.
I really hope it doesn't turn out to be like a place that has a specific clientele. Only one herring gone.
It's like one of those carnivore bars for Beastars.
As you approach, you leave the questioning rest of the guild and make your way out. The Last Bunny is walking distance from the guild hall at least, so you don't need to wave down a driver or anything. It is a nice little establishment. It's got a cute little bunny reading a book, little silhouette image on the outside, a sign waving in the wind. And as you walk in, it is very nice and warm. There are several fires going. It's a very woodsy, think Disneyland vibe of
Nice.
woodsy. And there is one Harangon that is tending bar up towards the center, and you see a sign saying to feel free to seat yourself and to order at the bar.
Nice. All right, you guys find somewhere that's out of earshot. I will order us 3 drinks of some description.
Sounds good.
Okay. Kitasha's going to immediately look for something equivalent to a VIP spot. Somewhere that, while it may not be the specific kind of place to have it, someplace that has a manned someone manned out front to like keep it secure. Like an interior bouncer sort of situation. If it exists.
There's nothing quite like that, but there is a nice, really secluded corner bar that the other tables currently have some, like, dishes set upon. Like, clearly a busser has used those to be their, like, I'm gonna set stuff here while I'm getting other stuff done. So it's kind of secluded from everyone else. It's just one empty corner little booth.
We can do our best to look really shady so no one comes near us. We'll put, it's like Strider in the first Lord of the Rings movie. Just, we got the cloak on. We'll just look very mysterious.
I don't have to quite do that. Kitasha will go up to one of the dirty tables and we'll just move the plates away. And we'll just prestidigitate anything left over on the table.
Smart.
I mean, you could do that. I was saying that there was one empty one in the middle that was perfectly clean. It's just like it's secluded from everything else because the other tables around it have been clearly where the bus boys have been setting their stuff.
Gotcha. No, I don't do that. And I instead take the clean table.
All right. I've brought back 3 drinks. I've got something fruity, something spicy, and something. I thought we could play past it. All right, we can play that out. I'll just play past it, but that's fine. Hello, sir. I would like to buy 3 very different drinks because I don't really know what my friends are going to order.
Hello, fellow adult. I would like 3 alcohols, please.
A Herringon woman that is standing, wiping down the counters, looks up at you, a little confused. One of her black ears twitching a little bit. All right. Do you know what any type that you might like?
Maybe one ale. Ale is always a good, reliable. We'll get 1 strong drink, maybe a whiskey of some sort, and then we'll finish it out with a cocktail, and we'll just we'll arm wrestle over who gets which drink.
Sounds like someone's never been to a hen before.
Okay. She's just gonna turn around. She's just put 3 copper on the table.
All right.
And she's gonna turn away, and she's going to fill 3 mugs of ale and then give it back to you.
Close enough.
She's just gonna like raise an eyebrow at you to be like, either you can try again at ordering stuff or you can take this.
I'll take it. This works.
Right now, you've officially ordered stuff.
I'll bring back 3 ales.
So, thank you for the ale.
So, I feel like maybe some questions, some answers, or maybe you just want to vent. I'm not sure.
I'll take questions first.
Okay. So, you know this Merlin fairly well?
Yeah. We've been engaged since I was like 8. In Herringon culture, betrothals are basically the norm. When families are, 15, 16 members large, genealogy becomes a very important thing to track. And so matchmaking to prevent accidental inbreeding has been the practice for the last couple hundred years. So most people, or most Herringons, are matched when they're still children. The goal of that is to give the match time to actually be healthy, and like they could have time to be friends, kind of thing. It's not 100%, not these kind of things ever are. But yeah. So I've known Merlin since I was 8, and I've basically acted as like a little bit of a bodyguard, a little bit of a playmate to him for that entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that he's not a good guy. He's genuinely a great person. But there's no way of saying this. He's boring. And I know if I marry him, well, I'm going to marry him, so if. I know when I marry him, I'll just be a housewife, and I will, that'll be the extent of it. The Harrier's dad, or Harrier, Merlin's dad, the only reason he agreed to pair Merlin and me was because my family and my dad convinced him that my family was, virile enough because Merlin is an only child, which is not great. And the Tokugawas need more heirs. That's my role.
It doesn't sound like you're too enthused with that.
It's my enthusiasm doesn't matter here. This has been the accepted end point or end goal since I was 8.
Mm-hmm. And I suppose, as he is somewhat of royalty, you perhaps would have a fair amount of lenience, so you might be free to live your life to a certain degree how you see fit, within reason.
He thinks so. I'm not confident in that. Like, I'll at this point, I'll pass over the letter that I was given from Merlin.
Secret letter.
Secret letter.
I can read that. I can read this out if you want.
Sure.
All right. So the letter reads, "My dearest Coco." Mako will stop for a second.
My dearest Coco.
Stop for a second. Merlin insisted on nicknames when we were younger. I got Coco. My dearest Coco, I hope this letter finds you well. My sincerest apology for the abrupt announcement. I did try to negotiate them into not such a grand announcement. However, as you're aware, traditions far outweigh our comfort. As you may have heard, my father's health has been in rapid decline, and as his sole kit and heir of our title, I am charged with the continuation of our family line. While I have been very understanding in your longing to prolong our engagement, it seems time is not on our side in this regard. I hope this does not sour your feelings towards me, nor my father. He simply wants what's best for our family and for me. Perhaps if we were of different birth, we could have truly spent time together to form this bond more. Alas, we are not. I will swear to you, however, that I will stand strong by your side and be the husband you deserve. I also do not wish to clip your wings in the matter of speech. I do not wish to stop your comings and goings, and I would never dream to strip you of freedoms. You, of course, will be free to continue your work among the guild if you so desire. However, as I'm sure you're aware, there would be quite a bit of pressure for us to form our first brood together quite swiftly upon our union, and I am sure we will come to a solution to this. Perhaps they will follow in both our footsteps and become quite the noble individuals. I will not lie to you, Coco. I greatly missed you. I am foolish enough I am not foolish enough to not understand your feelings may not be as forward, but I longed to help them to grow. Perhaps once we are wed, we will truly have the time to nurture this courtship. I long to understand you more fully than I do now, and to help you understand my own. I do look forward to our next meeting, and I pray for your safety and your adventures, and I hope to see you before this coming winter. Forever yours, Nagao Merlin Hatsumitsu, Tokugawa of House Taka, heir to Daimyo Harrier Aritomo Tokugawa.
Did Mako read out the
Yeah.
letters? Okay.
Well, I don't know if she read it out, but she passed it over for you guys to read.
Okay. As Kitasha's reading, she'll sneak glances up at Mako, and just try and see what Mako's feeling. Because right now it seems like Mako's kind of resigned to her fate. So Kitasha just wants to know if this is not necessarily something that Mako can see her way out of. But if there's enough context clues for, like, if Mako needed help getting out.
I think you might see like a bit of conflict on her face because, from Mako's perspective, yeah, she resigned to her fate, but it's not. She understands logically that this is not a bad fate, even if it might not be, even if it might not be what she really wants. It's not a bad life to be consigned to.
Oh, she's traumatized. Got it.
D&D.
Trauma.
Drama.
Mm-hmm.
And so as you can see, Merlin. I know Merlin really believes that I could keep doing this, but as soon as I marry him, I'll be a diplomat's wife, and I'll have to keep appearances up, and I will have a new role to play. There's no world where I have the time and energy for both of these things.
And how far is your homeland from here? Is it something that could be journeyed fairly easily?
Didn't decide that.
Oh wait,
Hey.
that's
Miles and kilometers don't exist here.
I mean, Mako grew up in Dragonrook, so, or maybe I don't know. Harengon homeland has kind of just been wherever people are, wherever there is food and land.
Perhaps what I'm really asking is how easy would it be for you to go and have a frank conversation with Merlin and just to discuss all of these details?
I mean, his family's estate is maybe a day or two away. But a frank conversation isn't going to solve anything. What makes you be crass, but there's nothing to solve.
Well, the only thing that really seems to be needing to be solved is heirs. Does it have to be from a specific bloodline? Can't you just adopt?
No. Genealogy is very important in our culture, and adoptions don't happen often, and it's not considered like a means of continuing a bloodline. There's a lot of legal like paperwork involved with it, but essentially the way it stands right now, especially for a family of as high status as the Tokugawas, it's not really an option. And the other issue with it not being me, like if it were to be someone else, is that by this point, every other eligible female Harengon has already been paired. I mean, there may be like half a dozen unpaired female Harengon of my age on the planet. Like that's it, it's strict. And besides, the joining of my family with his raises my family status. It's that there are a lot of factors beyond my control, beyond my influence.
Do you want your family's status to be raised?
Yeah, but would you not want your family status raised?
I'm really only aware of two of my family members, and they seem mostly fine. So it's a different situation. Look,
Yeah, status isn't important in orc culture. It's everyone's a collective, and no one's really more important than the others. So
I know we're all coming from very different backgrounds with very different experiences, so I don't know how helpful. We're all going to be very different people.
Competition is kind of baked into the Harengon. I grew up with 15 siblings, and I was in competition with all of them at any point in time. My family is one of a dozen families in the clan that are all in competition with one another. Like,
that sounds exhausting.
it's maybe, I don't know. This is the only existence I've known, and it's the one that's worked for us for hundreds of years.
Is perhaps just a thought. In some ways, not in regards to the arranged marriage, but just in regards to marriage as a concept, I have been in the position that Merlin might one day find himself in, where I am a relatively, let's be frank, boring individual, married to somebody who has a bit of a wanderlust or a desire for adventure and drama and violence, perhaps. I'm not saying that sums you up very well, but I'm speaking more to my own experience here. I'm not even sure if we are still married, and if we are, it's probably not a very good marriage. And I know perhaps the quality of marriage isn't something that you're necessarily focusing on right now, but when you get people that could not be more different, it sometimes does not lead to great results. I'm not trying to stop you from getting married, of course. I'm just sharing that he himself might not end up being very happy in this arrangement, especially if he seems to care for you and care for your well-being, and if you would not be happy. Again, happiness is not the only factor, but just my 2 copper pieces.
I appreciate that insight, but I will learn to love Merlin, and that I will learn to be content with the life I am dealt. I am just resistant because this life I have built for myself, I've invested so much into it. But I know I can build another one. I just don't want to.
You probably don't want to because your heart already knows it's not right. It sounds like you're more likely to grow to resent Merlin and grow to hate him than to love him and learn to be content.
When he is a man that used a lass in a sentence.
I am terribly sorry. Can we pause for 1 second? I need to go turn the oven off because otherwise I'm going to burn my cheesecake.
Save it.
Very important things.
Me saving my camera from falling. Also, while he's away, you guys, I will just say really quick, will recall, upon
He's back.
seeing that individual, there was an individual you had seen, and Mako seemed very distressed about in every vision.
Sorry,
We
like
weren't
5
talking
minutes.
about anything.
Like a little bit ago, a timer went off, and I didn't know what it was for. And then I started smelling the cheesecake, and so I was like, "Oh no!" So I had to go turn it off the oven.
Not the cheesecake. We need to eat that tomorrow, David.
It's a pumpkin pie cheesecake with a chocolate graham cracker crust.
I'm okay with that.
Fancy.
Yeah, I could work with that.
It's a little overdone. I'm sorry.
David, it's fine. Everything you make is delicious, and it makes me jealous every time.
And then I also tomorrow morning I'm making sweet potato casserole as a pie with the graham cracker crust. I have the homemade marshmallows curing right now.
Nice.
So many pies.
Also, you have the time frame, right? Mom actually did text you when we're eating, right? Sorry to derail D&D for Thanksgiving talk.
The last I heard was arrive after 10.
Yes. Okay. Perfect.
That's all I know.
That is accurate.
D&D stands for dinner and dessert.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't like you were thinking that it was still going to be like, oh, a normal Thanksgiving dinner time.
Yeah.
So, okay. Good.
These originally were planning on popping over there like closer to noon because I was going to run by the hospital to get my free Thanksgiving meal from there.
That's fair.
But this year, for some reason, the one below the director of nutrition services sent out an email to all nutrition services staff saying, among other things, saying that the free meal is only available for people who work Thanksgiving. And if you are furloughed or have the day off normally, you have to pay for it.
Boo!
And I have to wonder how many people aren't going to read that email, come in, and not want to pay $13 a plate for some turkey and a piece of pie.
So many. There will be so many people there.
Yeah, so that was canceled. So maybe there a little earlier.
That's good.
All right. Anyway,
Going back.
Yeah.
Mako.
Yes.
Here's a question: is there a universe in which you could keep up the front of a marriage to tell Merlin that you will, be there as a doting wife, or however you'd want to phrase it, for the public appearances, but then for any time that you are not in the public eye, you could actually be adventuring or join within the guild or fighting a big monster, whatever you'd like to do.
I really don't think so. Uh, especially with Harrier potentially, I mean, he's on his deathbed. With Harrier dying, that means Merlin will become the daimyo of House Tokugawa, or House Taka.
Mm-hmm. He's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it will be. I mean, he'll be the youngest daimyo in, the last, 5 or 6 generations, but he'll still be a really important deal, and meaning that there'll be a lot of eyes on him, and subsequently a lot of eyes on me. And I mean, like, I appreciate like looking into it, but like realistically, I don't think so.
I mean, if he's so boring, are you allowed to take lovers?
It's frowned upon because, like, especially because, like, I'll be expected to be fertile, so like the likelihood of bastard children will be much higher, and bastard children are notoriously difficult to track, and so it really makes everyone's genealogy upset. It's
Do Harrington just get pregnant from anything?
no, I not really. I don't know actually. It's
I'm just pointing this out because for orcs, specifically full-blooded orcs, it's really difficult for them to like bear children with other orcs. So is it?
Herringon are a particularly virile species to begin with. I mean, we have
Eh,
we've
just
figured we've figured out ways over the years of controlling that. And like currently, I'm not fertile, so it doesn't matter. But that will change, So I don't know. I guess like if I was incredibly careful, I could take on a lover, but like it'd be the kind of thing. It'd be the same drama that would happen in any court. Like, you know, it's not normal, so it would be, we looked upon with suspicion.
okay, Mako and Kitashi will reach out a hand to Mako's hand paw. We've been asking a lot of questions about future, but what do you actually want to do? We've been trying to find loopholes, but we haven't actually asked what you want to do.
Oh no, I haven't had a choice. The the I've been following orders my whole life, and I'm still following them. The choices I've been able to make have been superficial at most. That when I say it doesn't matter what I think or what I want, it's because that's the case. The needs of my family, of the needs of Merlin, the needs of Harrier, are categorically more important.
More important than your happiness?
Yes.
Why would you want that?
Because that's what's best for everyone.
But that's not what's best for you. You can't keep lighting charcoal on fire and hoping it burns the same as wood.
Doesn't it burn the same as wood?
Not always. Sometimes it gets weird.
Oh, okay. No, I'd like to think that was a character. Joe has no idea.
Someone who's had his entire house burned down. Does charcoal work like wood? Can I build my entire house out of charcoal and it won't collapse and burn?
Skatasha, I've read enough discount fantasy romance to know I'm supposed to want to run off with and be my own woman and, like find my own happiness. But I don't live in a discount fantasy romance. It's not my choice. It's never been my choice.
This won't be the same thing, but at least I know about having. I guess when there's certain responsibilities, you do have to put your own happiness aside sometimes. Like, I would love to be able to bring my daughter on every mission because that would be really fun for me, but that would be very irresponsible and she would probably get very badly injured. So I'm not doing that even though I want to. So I understand about setting your own happiness aside for something that's more important, perhaps. So if this was to happen, which it sounds like it's currently still your decision, this would be going into effect in the winter? Soon?
Yeah, it does mean I really hope that we'll be able to resolve the situation with our missing friends, family. But if we can't, I'd be able to convince Merlin to let me finish this, and then I can work from there.
You could get married and then have a really prolonged honeymoon, but without him.
You know what? I think he might go for that.
Hey, Katasha, can I get an insight check from you?
An insight, you say?
Yes, I
With
do.
a +9, you say? 21.
Okay. As Mako has been saying this, you have a moment of a memory or two flashing into your mind of how distraught and shook Mako was upon seeing someone who is missing. And you have vague memories of her mentioning their name. And that they seemed also quite important.
Mako, I can understand you putting your own happiness aside. Would you put the happiness of someone else who's close to you aside for this marriage?
Quill deserves better.
Doesn't Quill deserve happiness too?
You mean
I'm getting big Oprah vibes, by the way. Were you silent or were you silenced? This big Oprah vibes. Sorry,
Next
just
thing
had
you
to
know,
break
you
all
guys.
the tension.
Next thing you know, you guys are gonna be looking under your chairs, and you get a magic bag, and you get a magic bag.
You get magic carpet for everyone.
If I can be somewhat bold, does Quill feel the same way that you do?
I think so. It's been a few years since I broke it off with Quill. But I never gave him a good explanation why, and I don't think he ever... I don't think he ever has understood.
Well, hang on. Does he not know about the wedding? Does he know about Merlin?
I don't know if I mentioned it specifically to him. It was never important.
Oh, okay. Sort of seems a bit important, just a little bit important, maybe, as a detail.
No, it sounds like the wedding isn't as important as your relationship to Quill. Good match or no?
Hmm.
Anyway, enough about whether or not you deserve it. What do you need to prepare for this wedding? Doesn't matter who you're getting married to.
Yeah,
Just
no.
what you need to have.
I'll
Is
need
it
to spend some time with both Merlin's family and my own to get the proper attire and other things sorted out. Fortunately, Merlin is probably going to be handling basically all of the wedding planning. I mean, he's been planning it since we were 9, so...
Mako
He
has
is a
flashbacks to cute little dioramas that he had made and shown her, like,
little shadow boxes with
Yeah.
like a crank to turn?
Do you think light gold or copper?
Do you think blush or bashful?
So one of the
Cream or eggshell?
one of the things I wrote down for Merlin is that he, like, his hobby is botany, and so he's been breeding,
You think he's been making tiny wickermen?
No, he's been breeding like new varieties of hyacinth just for the wedding.
Oh, that's cute. Wait, he doesn't have a Pinterest board. He's got a literal physical board. He's got things pinned up to.
Oh my goodness, it's like a moss wall but with flowers.
And he wants the balloon arch, everybody. I don't know if this wedding can go ahead. No.
Yeah, I won't know specifically what I need to do to prepare until I meet with my family and probably Merlin.
Would we be allowed there?
I would hope that you would. Honestly, I was gonna. I would appreciate having someone there who will pull me away when it is time. Like, I know if I go by myself, then I will get sucked back into old routines with my family, and I will find it difficult to decide to leave when things need to be done.
How long is the actual ceremony supposed to be?
For most unions, it's usually, an evening. For
You can't even go through any trials for an evening. That's so short. Weddings are massive things. It's like a week-long celebration.
I imagine the Tokugawas will settle for nothing less than a week-long celebration. But no, there's no trials, so to speak, for hair and gun weddings.
Not even to like test compatibility and like show.
That's what the betrothal is for.
It would be but it would be such a. And Kitasha's going to like. Kitasha's always been persuasive, but this is like Kitasha's starting to get a little bit more like cog, like twisting things. But it would be such a great show of faith to everyone to show just how compatible you two are. If you were to go through a trial together.
I do have to ask. I don't want to derail this conversation, but I've got to know what kind of trials would be present at a week-long wedding for you and your betrothed.
Well, I'm not betrothed, but I think the best one would be the trial of silence. I think that would be the best one. I don't know, Mako. I've never heard you sing, so I don't know if. Now I have to pull up my work culture thing.
Wait, so these aren't like violent trials or scary trials, or because usually the word trial is associated with like an actual very like difficult thing, like don't fall into the pit of lava on a tightrope or something like that.
I mean, the trial by silence is you have to find each other without speaking. And
while blindfolded?
Without seeing, yeah.
Oh.
It can be dangerous, but it's really fun. Oh, the trial by song. Yeah, I don't think. I've never heard you sing, Mako, and it's a full day of singing with your partner.
I've never had any formal training, so I imagine that wouldn't be particularly pleasant.
Oh, but it's so good.
Wait, so the trial part. Wait, I'm sorry. I don't want to stay on this too long, but this is really fascinating to me. Is the trial like who can win out of the couple, or what's the like? Are you both trying to go for the full day with singing? But what happens if someone doesn't make it?
Oh yeah, for the day of song, it's you. You pretty much show how well you can work. Well, for all the trials, it's just how well you work together as a couple, and how well you know each other. And I guess Day of Song has been flimmed a bit. Some have started using novels and reciting them by memory.
That's pretty nice.
For an entire day. But it's not a competition. These trials are just to test your faith and compatibility.
That sounds quite nice in a way.
It sounds definitely interesting. You know what? If you were to mention that in Merlin's presence, he would 100% latch on to that idea. He's
just a trial to show everyone how compatible you are.
He is like he's been training as a diplomat since he was born, basically. So like other cultures are like one of his favorite things to like do. I mean, so if you could present to him the idea of the Orcish wedding trials, he would 100% like fall in love with that.
Kitasha's eyes kind of dance a little bit with like a yes point for me. I win. Well, would you? I can write to my family to see if there's any upcoming wedding ceremonies, so that way we could potentially go to. I haven't been able to pull up the actual map, so I don't know what it's actually called, but insert orc country name here.
David,
Akomaros.
it's your map.
The country is called Akomaros.
We could go to Akumoros. Is that... Stop petting my computer. Is
Yeah.
it pronounced Akumoros?
Akomaros, yeah.
Okay. We can go to Akumoros, and if Merlin can travel, we can go there and he can see for himself. See if it's something he'd want to include.
I'm sure he wouldn't mind spending more time with you in between now and the wedding anyway.
Hmm.
And it may get a chance, perhaps, for you to discover more about him and perhaps consider him slightly less boring than you currently do.
That, yeah.
You don't seem in love with this idea.
No. This is a good idea.
For someone who
It
doesn't
might be-
necessarily want to
it
be a
might-
diplomat's wife, you're giving very diplomatic answers.
It may be good to spend time with him outside his element.
Hmm. Well, it seems like you're going to be a very good diplomat regardless.
I'm more going to be just a glorified. I'm going to end up being just his bodyguard. Like, who knows what kind of I don't know. Especially before our first litter, he's going to be a target just because of the size of his wealth and status. So I'm going to basically be on guard duty for the first however long it takes.
So, I hope you... Well, I did have one idea, and please feel free to shoot this down, because it's rather silly,
All right.
and it's quite uncharacteristic of me, but I suppose in spending the time to try and figure a way that you might balance this, what if we faked your death? Like, right before the wedding.
Well,
And
like
I'm...
pushed her over a cliff or something?
No, it's a fake death. So there'll be we'd have to engineer the circumstance somehow. But the end result being that your family is not disgraced, and you are free to roam the world as you please. You could even sneak a note out and explain yourself to your family and to your betrothed if you so wish. But it's just something to mull on or laugh at.
Mako's just going to laugh it off a bit. So, no, that doesn't serve anyone, I don't think.
Maybe you.
No, I can't imagine that working out incredibly well. She's not saying it, but I think both of you can tell she's not tossing that idea.
I think Kitasha feels it stronger than Joe. Just with the passive 19 fucking insight.
Well, look, I suppose perhaps while we haven't found any perfect solutions, at least we've shared a drink, shared some things about ourselves, and I don't know, maybe this will all work itself out.
I mean, if we can find the missing team, before winter, then that clears out a lot of the apprehensions I would have.
Okay.
I'm
Don't
pretty
let
sure we
the
touched. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we touched on this, but how long is it until winter?
Uh,
Is it
I
currently summer?
decided it is spring at the moment.
Spring.
so we
So we
got
have like,
Spring.
6 months.
if we were going by the Gregorian calendar, we would have about 6 to 9 months.
Yeah.
Hold up, let me pull up. Let me pull up the
No way you
calendar.
Oh no, is the lunar cycle much
I got a
shorter?
calendar.
That's insane. Let's go.
I
Oh
don't think I
no,
transferred
we have
that
2 weeks
because
until winter, guys.
And David, please tell me you fixed it and just made every month exactly 4 weeks, like it should have been.
every month 4 weeks,
He went the
but
Jewish
the
route
weeks
where
are
it's 30 days.
10 days long.
No!
Man, if the weeks were 10 days long, I need to fix my thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't super matter. Hold up.
How's everyone finding that 8-day work week?
Oh, it's so much better than the 10-day work week. Oh my goodness. I can go home.
I was about to say, David, you cannot go through there like, oh wait, what's the actual time frame? No, I need that time frame. I need the time frame I set.
All right. Hold up. Where?
We can't speed this up.
I'm sure that I had a calendar somewhere. Where is it? I might have deleted the calendar. Hold up.
That's fine.
It wasn't working for me, guys.
Well, I think I deleted it because I was moving everything to Obsidian, and Obsidian I just didn't want to make the spreadsheet for it.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. In the meantime,
It doesn't matter.
it's roughly 6 to 9 months. In that time, we can definitely try. It seems that anything that we've been following that seems tangentially Fae related seems to have involved a what's the word? Paran mission? What am I going for there?
Anna knows.
apparition?
Kitasha does not.
Apparition, sure, an apparition of
There we
some, or a vision, perhaps. So perhaps if we were able to, we could try and keep focusing on missions that might have any links to the Fae, if that's even a possibility for us. Obviously, we'll take what we can get, but if we're given a choice, perhaps something that seems a bit more Fae aligned might be good for us.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think for all, well, Gitasha, I don't know a ton about your situation, but it sounds like getting these people back would be a very positive for each of us in different ways.
Well, yeah, I'd like to see my sister again. That'd be pretty nice.
Yeah.
Do we know anyone who would have either more knowledge or do we know anyone who would have an expertise regarding telepathy?
Ooh.
Maybe a guildmaster?
Because
Specifically telepathy?
I say telepathy because I've received messages from, I've seen visions of Quill, but I've received messages from my old General Ritsuka. Ritsuka was a particularly advanced kind of Thrycreen, and one of the advancements that they built him with was greatly enhanced telepathy, and that's how he was able to direct us while we were on missions. I suspect that telepathy is what's letting him give me messages directly. But it seems difficult for him, and I wonder if anyone would be able to help us be able to receive those messages easier.
Yeah,
It's just a thought.
not a bad idea. Perhaps I'm sure there's a guildmaster involved in the arcane. I don't know if I think Kiza seems to be more focused on artifice, but perhaps there's someone that would be suited for that discussion. We could ask around at the guild when we get there tomorrow.
I guess if we, I don't know if it would help, but we could try and contact someone in the Life Spinners College. They're the ones who built Ritsuka, or built, so they spun him.
Okay. It could be.
It's a stretch, but I could talk to my oldest brother, Deku. He works as an interpreter and translator. Maybe he knows someone.
It's the only lead that I can think of right now, other than following Faye stuff. It's because if we can use the visions and apparitions to get closer, because we got really close last time.
Yes.
And, like, Mako will pull out Quill's spine that you broke off.
Oh yeah.
Just pulls
Oh yeah, that's right.
his
You
spine.
stopped me from going with my sister. That was very rude of you.
Yeah, you thought he just stabbed Quill's spine. I got it, guys. I got it.
Whole spinal cord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, kidnappers often ask for like send like a finger to prove. No. Mako sends the entire spine. There you go.
Yeah. But we got so close. I feel like we just need like one or two more like solid advances and we'll be there.
Yeah. It does still raise the question, and perhaps this could be asked once we actually are reunited, but why? As in, why are they gone? Is it malicious or accidental? And if so, why do they keep showing up to us now? I think there is some questions to be asked there, but I think they are much less important than the just needing to get people back.
Well,
the bartender is doing some dance moves over there, guys. I don't know if you see that, but
I think I'm gonna get the drinks this time.
Okay. I'm not sure if we're getting the sign to be kicked out. I'm not sure if that's the bartender's way of saying it's closing time.
It's 2 p.m. Get out. Yeah, Kitasha's gonna let them figure out whatever they're doing. And we'll go up to the bar. Does there happen to be any sort of signage about like special drinks? Or is there any sort of liquor that looks fun on display?
There is a big sign about a special tropical fruit from your home country drink currently on display of imported
Insert home
in.
country drink.
Yes, I'm desperately David the name once more.
Ericos?
Mm-hmm.
Ericos, was it?
The Orcish land.
Akamoros.
Akamoros. Shipped in like imported preserves from some of the fruits over there that are then mixed in with some heavy liqueurs to make a very nice tropical drink. And it is called Orcish Delight.
Of course it would be fucking Orcish Delight.
Nice.
So Kitasha will wave the bartender over.
Yes, how can I help you, dear?
Hi, can I get 3? Because she wasn't quite sure if Joe would actually drink a cocktail. 3 of the Orcish Delights.
Certainly, yes. Let me go get that for you. That'll just be 5 copper.
5 copper. You got it.
Thank you.
Get to inventory. Oh, good. I
And
have
she's gonna go ahead.
copper pieces. Great.
She's already off making your drinks. It's quite fun to watch, actually. She does a lot of spinning.
Mhm.
Spinning of bottles and spinning of cups. It's quite entertaining.
Mhm. With the strange red citrus.
Oh yes, it's very red.
Very red.
Then like almost neon glowing red drinks are given to you. There you go, Kier. I hope you like them.
Thank you. Oh, these smell great. And she'll bring them back to the table. Apologies, Joe, but ale is not for talking about weddings at all. Mhm.
Is it meant to be that red?
I'm assuming this is like a Mai Tai adjacent
Yeah,
type of drink, and it's got very red citrus
very red.
in it. Very red. So like close to like a blood orange kind of citrus wheel in it.
Okay.
All
All right.
and some
Well,
other herbs and stuff like that.
I'm sure this will be very tasty. So thank you for getting this. And then he tries to eat the umbrella.
Nothing but splinters.
Well, like, is the inside of your mouth also rocks?
I guess so.
Do you not have a tongue? Is that what this is?
I hadn't really thought about exactly how rocky he was, but yeah, I guess his insides are at least partially rocked.
So I
All right,
imagine
it's canon now. You don't bleed. You just
Yeah.
He just chips away,
Aw.
crumbles.
he's just a nutcracker, guys. Leave him
Wrong
alone.
holiday. Wrong holiday.
Leave him alone.
I'm a real boy.
Oh no, Pinocchio.
All right. Well, let's drink to our success. Let's drink to the success of the next few missions, and perhaps a well-deserved sleep after the events of the last week.
I'll drink to that. And Kitasha will do like hold up her glass in case anyone wants to clink it
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
a proper toast.
Yeah, I'll toast to that.
There we go.
All right. I on just a more lighthearted note, I have started working on some things that may help both of you, at least in the short term. So I'll hopefully be able to get you those to both tomorrow.
All right. Well, don't try and burn yourself out over it. And she'll do like a little elbow nudge of like, haha, it's funny. I understand it hurts, but it's funny.
Yeah, it's like you're really hard. I didn't need that hit point anyway.
Oh, that's right. Kitasha's stronger than you.
I think so, yeah.
I think she's got a base 10 strength. Either that or she just consistently rolls better than everyone else.
It might be rolling, yeah. I think he's got a +2 on strength. Yeah, he's alright.
Wow.
Wow.
With those mid rolls. Coming in with those mid rolls.
It's what happens when you become a dad. You start lifting that kid all the time, you know, you just it's a free workout.
You get car seat shoulder.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm picking up the rag.
And we're opening the oven. Question: did Talos actually say what mission they were on, or just that it was a top secret mission?
It was that they had been on an investigation mission. He did not specify what. and that they just all vanished. Radio silence.
Okay. I think our first goal should be figuring out what they are actually investigating. Because I think that'll help us more than just trying to look at face stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they were captured for looking into something that they weren't supposed to. Maybe.
Either something they weren't supposed to, or they touched something they weren't supposed to. Which doesn't really sound like Darren. But
How much do either of you know about the Fae?
A lot.
that they sometimes cast lights on the water and make it pretty.
Maybe. I wasn't aware of that. I know generally as a concept it's not very well trusted. A lot of anything Fae related, people generally turn their nose up at. I mean, based on the creatures we've seen that potentially are from there. There was the creepy bear dog monster with the flower face that you yeeted into the void.
He was just a cutie.
But it
He
did
just
seem...
wanted to play.
I don't get that impression when it started coming at us. Before you inadvertently saved us all.
Yeah, you're welcome. That's
Yeah.
okay. I mean, the horsehead guy was pretty cool.
Again, I got the impression we're not meant to mess with him, though. It wasn't...
Well, yeah, there are things that are cool, but you still deal with them at a distance.
Like pirates.
Eh. Pirates are fine.
Well, alright. So, maybe in the morning, we can speak to Talos and see if he's able to give us any more information. And to be honest, in this brief period of rest before we get the next mission, I'd be very happy to run a few errands in the city as well.
Yeah, I'll probably need to look at or look for some things too. I might check the post to see if any new letters have come in too.
All right. Sounds like we're gonna have
Mako,
a busy day.
Mako, is there anything you would like to do? Or do you
I think
want to join either of us on?
I need to go talk to Valos. I think he was working on something for me. I want to go check on his progress, and maybe he has some other connection to Ritsuka. That's also something to check in on.
All right, that's fair. And against all warnings, we split the party.
Nice.
Okay. Considering the time we have left, I'm going to speed run a little bit here. By the way, so Miss Kitasha, when you go to look for your mail, you do find several letters from your siblings, but you also see a letter from the shopkeeper of the Sparkling Traveler.
Ooh, the button lady.
This is the button lady. And she wrote to you. Let me scroll back up here. So, I think I have found your pendant. However, it is in possession of the High Noble Lucia Vesperwind, who is out on an excursion around Kalanine. However, she should be back, I think, at within a few months, 2 months maybe, a month, 2 months. There's some bougie party, courts party or something. You know those secret society sort of things. But I hear that she has a pendant, an orcish pendant, with blood on it, which may, from my understanding of what you said, may be the one you're after. But she should be here for that party in the next few months. Maybe if you have some way to get in, that would be my best guess. And you can snatch it from her neck. Good luck!
This Lady Vesperwind?
Yes.
Do I know her?
She
Is she a raging see you next Tuesday?
She is a high noble lady who does normally, she reigns from New Dragonrook. She is a tabaxi. She's not run through your circles very much, but you hear a lot of trash talk about her. Sounds like a lot of the ladies that you spent time with that ever did interact with her really didn't like her.
Okay.
But otherwise, there are just letters from your siblings and such.
Okay. I'm trying to remember why I wrote to Eleanor.
I wish I could also remember.
God. Because the last people I wrote to were Shaz and Spake and Eleanor.
Do you remember when that was? You can look it up on the video.
Yes, it was.
Ooh, I think it was the last recorded session? Or the one before that?
It was right at the end of the Arc mission, and it's been so long.
Yeah. Yeah, because Eleanor is a consultant
Flower.
for aristocrats. The flower?
Yeah, it was one of them you wrote to about the flower, I think, but the Aristocats. Were you looking into?
That was probably Shaz and Spake, because they're alchemists.
Yes. Man, why did you write?
Why do I have so many people in my backstory?
Okay, let's put it to I will re-listen to last episode and we will do a recap of what the letter will be responding next time.
Okay.
Just so that
works.
I will actually prep something for that.
Okay.
Because timing, yeah. Was there anything else Kitasha wanted to do?
Well, that was going to be what Kitasha was going to look for. So Kitasha will take this letter, fold it up, go to put it in one of her inner breast pockets, stop, and then put it in the other side.
All right. And yes, now you have some fancy party that you might have to find your way into.
Oh no, the horror.
Mm-hmm.
However will I intrude?
However. All right. Hang on the list here. Let's see, Joe, you were interested in the enhancements. What were they called? Augmentation.
Augmentations, yeah. I mean, I think primary objective is to make some magic items. So I don't know how best to run it in terms of the what's it called D&D Beyond, within the website. I don't know how that works. I might look into that in between sessions just so I can send you guys some stuff. But what Joe is going to work on is a spell refueling ring. Excuse me. So that Kitasha can cast one additional spell per day, which he hopes will not come back to bite him. And then for Mako, I believe when he asked her before, she mentioned something about an armor, or possibly some way of being more stealthy or something. So he's looking into that, and there's no specific options for stealth necessarily, but there is some improved armor which he might work on. So that'd be the priority number one. But yeah, any remaining time in the day would be potentially augmentations and visiting his brother and daughter.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, if you were wanting to check out the augmentations, I don't remember if I posted it in the chat or not, but I can just read these through.
I think you did as well, but I don't know how far we'd have to scroll to find it.
Okay. I'm just going to read out to you kind of your options here. So there are 3 augmentation options here. You can choose armor augmentation, leg, or eye. So every time you augment yourself, you get pluses to certain things. For example, for the arm, your first increase is a +2 to your strength stat. And then in addition, you gain a +1 to athletics, survival, and intimidation.
Nice.
And every time, every time that you augmentate yourself, you get an additional +1 to these things.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Leg is a +2 to dexterity, and then a +1 to acrobatics, intimidation, and stealth. Eye is a +2 to your wisdom stat. And then you gain a +1 to insight, perception, and intimidation. You also gain advantage on detect magic. However, if you roll a 5 or lower, I have a table of malfunctions that can happen.
Fun.
And I will roll on that. On a 1, I get to choose whatever malfunction I want.
But you would only choose the nice ones, obviously. I think Joe's concern with the last couple combats has been not being able to reach who he needs to, either for healing or for catching people or whatever it is. So I think he's thinking of a boost to speed. So I think the legs option would be first objective. So yeah, some sort of legs enhancement would, I reckon, be what he was going for. But I potentially also need to figure out how expensive it is, because I don't know if I've kept up to date with the money in here. Also, apparently I've just rolled a dice, so you can probably ignore that.
So the way I was making augmentation work is you guys do get a certain amount for the missions you complete.
Yeah.
And your option was essentially, instead of keeping track of that fund, you could either get specific items that you just had to talk through with me, or you could do an augmentation.
Okay.
But it's only at the end of your, like, during these sort of sessions.
Yep. Yeah, I think that sounds good then. So yeah, he's gonna go for the legs one to start, because that's it's a good boost, and yeah, it would be for the end goal of getting stronger, which is what he's after anyway.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, as you go to the shop and you're greeted by the Warforged there running the shop, you are informed that, yep, it's a small invasive surgery. Nothing to worry about. We're just replacing quite a few substantial parts of your legs with mechanics. But with, medicine and magic, you should be all healed up by the end of the day. And they have set up that while you're recovering, your daughter and brother can come in and visit with you.
Nice.
So as you go in and go under, you're kind of fuzzy throughout it all, and as you wake, and you can see your daughter doodling in the corner, just sitting on the edge of the bed while your brother is kind of reading, and you can look down and vaguely see your legs where they are now partially mechanical, with a couple of gears and pistons that are sticking out the sides. So lots of bronze and silver.
Cool.
It matches quite well with your natural, stone.
Yeah.
I think the most important question is, what way do your knees bend now?
Oh.
Do you have
just outwards,
standard, or do you have like digigrate?
I think. I
Go on,
think-
Mika.
Because technically,
I think-
Digigreat legs are faster.
They are faster, but I think that would be a second or third upgrade. For the first upgrade, it's just a smaller surgery.
The fifth and final
Okay.
upgrade is Centaur legs.
Do you want
Just
Centaur or
way
do you
more.
want unicycle legs? Because
Unicycle.
Yeah, Joe is able to have a relaxing, if not a little out of it, time
Yeah.
with his daughter and brother.
Nice.
And then for Mako, you were wanting to check in with Valos.
Mm-hmm.
Valos has indeed finished your boots.
Right.
You can now add, what was it that we agreed on for your pluses for this?
I don't remember.
I hope they're made for walking.
It was so intense. It was such a like.
How long ago was that?
It was a while ago. It is a very decent high boost, but they also have the chance of jamming, just like every other
Mhm.
mechanic. So if you roll too low, you have the chance of it jamming. If you roll a 1, you can have some serious issues with it. Because these are your gunpowder boots.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mention to Valos the thought of the
Yeah.
telepathy stuff?
Yeah, I think I'll mention it while he's like showing me what's going on with the boots, but I'll mention like all of our ideas for like trying to figure out how to contact Ritzka more effectively.
As he's showing you the boots, he'll nod and then he'll wave to one of the Mecha Valoses, and they will run off to get something. And as they come back, he kind of takes it almost looks like 2 barrette clips and sticks them on either side underneath your ears. He goes, give those a shot. It should help increase your own range, so might help. So these potentially will help you anytime that Ritzika is trying to contact you, and as Dave walks away. I'm just sitting here giving him options of what to do, ways that he can contact his missing brethren, but no, walks away while I'm explaining that he's gonna get a advantage on rolls whenever it comes to the telepathy.
Sorry, I just got a text from Sarah that was help puppy sad.
Oh no!
So I had to let Carm out of the room.
Poor puppy. But yeah, so you will get your pluses. Well, it was something like a +5, I want to say. It was something intensive for your jump. Just specifically jump.
Like, do you remember when we discussed this? Because, like, it was definitely after the start of this campaign, right?
We've discussed it a lot. I think we discussed it again probably at the Spring-Heeled Jack episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. But we can have confirms on that later.
I have to. It's like I'm not seeing that content anywhere.
It's okay. We can rewrite it. No one has to know. We're very professional D&D players. It's fine. I am the new Brandon Lee Mulligan. It's fine.
Oh my god. The Fae are just capitalists.
Fun fact, though, as you guys return to the guild, separately or together, however you chose to go about the last bit of your day, there's a little bit of a commotion at the front as you watch Talos get into a vehicle that speeds off.
Oh.
And there's a couple people waving him goodbye as you find out that he has been sent off to investigate a power surge off in further north from here.
Well, that's unfortunate.
But there's new missions on the board. So at least there's that.
I haven't heard a dungeon master use the phrase "fun fact" before in like a part of narration. That's awesome.
Before we head off today, I will just give you brief descriptions of the 3 missions you guys are going to be able to choose from next time we play. You have a escort mission of a high-ranking politician. He's just needing to get from one city to another. It's probably about a 5 days journey. There is an exotic potions dealer who is wanting some help getting to and from a dangerous island in order to collect a specific plant, as his current dealer of this plant is no longer alive. Or there is a escort mission that had been taken off of your roster last time and is back, which is to escort a Belhair priestess to a land known only as the Grove.
Interesting.
And as these are the 3 missions that are currently standing at your choosing, we will close out for tonight and continue next time.